resilience. Bisexual actor Aubrey Plaza moves forward after loss, embracing motherhood and healing while representing resilience and queer visibility in Hollywood.
Queer community strikes back as right-wing Christian host Eric Erickson says he will prefer war crime threats over recognizing transgender people.
The fight for rights in Florida is never-ending, but we're taking a moment to celebrate the victories.
Man arrested after shooting outside Myrtle Beach LGBTQ nightclub. The incident caused no injuries, but has raised safety concerns for the community.
An appeals court allows Iowa to enforce limits on LGBTQ topics in schools during ongoing legal battles. It has sparked concerns over censorship, student safety, and the erasure of queer identities.
All this important LGBTQ plus news and a whole lot more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company VIDQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 12 million views. We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the Rainbow family. There is no other news program in the world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Wednesday. I've always wanted to say this. It is Wednesday. It's Hump Day, April 8th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show. Hotspots magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ plus community. Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots magazine and Happening Out television network. In 2026, our magazine is celebrating 41 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 14,000 LGBTQ television stories.
We present South Florida's major LGBTQ plus events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our magazine, events, television, news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ plus and broader communities.
In 2026, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this very table and share their voice as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBTQ plus community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table anchor Dino Mosquera. He's also my favorite Venezuelan, by the way. You know, he joined the Miami Gay and Lesbian Film Festival in the late 90s when we were both 3 years old, and now serves on the OUTshine Film Festival's board of directors. Dino, so OUTshine LGBTQ plus Film Festival returns, I can't believe it's almost here, with its spring edition from April 23rd through May 10th. Tell us what's happening out.
Yes, the 28th annual OUTshine LGBTQ plus Film Festival Spring Edition is coming to South Florida from April 23rd through May 10th, celebrating bold queer storytelling on the big screen. Marking 45 festival editions, OUTshine will showcase 60 plus new LGBTQ plus films from around the world, bringing together filmmakers, audiences, and community. Attendees can enjoy in-person screenings across South Florida, while OUTshine at Home will run from May 4th to the 10th, offering virtual access from Florida residents. From powerful dramas to uplifting comedies, the festival highlights diverse voices and stories. Gather your friends and experience cinema that inspires, challenges, and celebrates LGBTQ plus life. More details are on OUTshine Spring 2026.eventive.org. It's going to be a great festival where the program is out. So you can check it out also, outshinefilm.com. We're going to have a great opening at the Miami Beach Botanical Gardens, the 23rd, yes, with the movie The Dinner from Spain. Fantastic, with Mario Casas, a hottie, super great, a great film, historical.
Is there anybody ugly from Spain? I don't even think there is.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying.
And trust me when I tell you, there is a scene in that movie where he looks in all his glory.
Yes.
It's a great film, and it's a historical film. It's so interesting, funny, and profound, and everything. We're having the festival centerpiece also from Spain, Mas Palomas, a great film that I think is going to resonate with a lot of people here in Wilton Manors particularly.
So Mas Palomas means more queers.
Well,
no, right? It means more birds, actually, right?
More pinga.
Oh, even better! Now you're really gonna go see this.
No, palomas is pigeon, right?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, but in the slang,
okay.
is actually.
I'm in for it.
Okay.
I mean, not for me personally,
Well,
for you.
We are in
because
for
when you go to the park, you see a lot of pigeons anyway.
There you go.
Yeah. So I wouldn't want the pigeons for me, but I always try to pick them up for my friends.
Thank you.
There
You know
you
what I
go.
mean?
Because that's the kind of friend you are.
I am. I can't believe it's time already. Like, time flies by. And the second that you're done with the festival, you folks, you, Joe, Mark, everybody that's part of your crew, you guys all get started to work on the next one. I mean, that's how busy and that's how it's crazy to put all this programming together.
I started watching films for this cycle in November. Wow. So as when, we finished in October, November we started, and I lead the team that kind of goes through all the films, and then you go down narrow it down for the program with Joe Belancio, which is great. He's a great person. And
you've got a great team over there. Alexis, all you folks over there are divine. Thank you for everything that you do, because you give us this wonderful space to be in. We've all gotten so used to watching movies at home, but you forget how wonderful it is to watch these movies and movies that speak to the life that we experience, right? On the big screen with people that you know and love. I mean, and there's nothing like it, So like last year, you're going to start in Miami and finish up in Broward, right?
That's right. Yeah, we're going to finish at the Savor on May 3rd with a fantastic film from Canada, which is very topical right now, gay immigration. So it's called, will be happening. So
is there a country that you are really looking forward to seeing their story?
I mean, I'm biased, I have to say. I mean, Latin American films are my thing, but I like films from all over. But this edition, we're having great films from Latin America and Hispanic America, including Spain, and fantastic films from Mexico. I mean, really, Colombia, Argentina. It's also the quality of films is getting very good, very deep. The message, the theme. I mean, this is what you go to a film festival for. You get to see realities from everywhere,
100%.
and the filmmakers are getting daring, and they're just putting it out there, and it's great to see,
Yes, listen, a lot of these countries don't have the freedom of speech that we have, okay? So to be able to generate a movie like this and then have it seen here is a big deal. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of Dino and the OUTshine Film Festival in the weeks to come, because we definitely want you to have that programming and know where to go and when to go and all that. I'm actually going to steal Dino and have him on the FayWhat show on the 21st, right? So look out for that. And we'll be talking all things Latin American and any other stuff that, sparks our interest, right?
In Spanglish.
In Spanglish. So one time of the year that this guy forces me to speak Spanish, okay? Y si tú me conoces, tú sabes muy bien que a mí no me gusta hablar español tanto.
Y a mí me encanta.
Y a él le fascina.
May we.
May we.
Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at the OUTshine LGBTQ Plus Film Festival from April 23rd through May 10th. Let's welcome back to the table my bestie, John Hayden. He's a journalist for 31 years. He now focuses on hyper-local reporting, covering LGBTQ plus issues, Wilton Manors, Lauderdale by the Sea, Fort Lauderdale, and Oakland Park, okay? You can see all of his reports at Greater Wilton Manors on YouTube and Facebook, as well as in the New Pelican, OutClick, Out South Florida, and once again, right here at the table at Queer News Tonight, baby. Welcome back to the show, John.
My God.
Tell me where you're going this week. Tell me.
Well, last weekend was Easter weekend, so I kind of laid low. There was Lauderdale Tropical Bear Week. That was great and everything, but I was kind of laying low. Thursday, tomorrow night, I'm going to see Manlesque at Gray Box Theater. That is a Matthew Darren D-Rock production.
Yes.
Cannot wait. I mean, just look at the poster.
Look
and I'm
at
pretty
that.
sure that there's only fewer clothes as the show goes on. At least
That's what I heard.
That's my hope, yeah.
I saw them rehearsing, and I mean,
Ooh.
gorge. Ellie Lay is an incredible guy. He's probably a great Lay, too, since his name is that.
That's right.
And the other boys are just beautiful. Matthew Darren doesn't need any help in that department because he's gorgeous on his own, and he's so super talented. But I love this. There's something for everybody. You know what I mean? Oh, I don't usually enjoy musical stuff. You will this time when you've got these hunks to look at and, entertain you.
Yeah. And they're beautiful, and oh my gosh. And then there's something else coming up. I've got Sunday, also at Gray Box Theater, is Palatable Gay Robot. And it looks hilarious. I have an interview with the creator of it, Stephen Brower, and that's available on YouTube and Facebook at Greater Wilton Manor. That's worth tuning in for, if nothing else, just to see what he does when I pull out all my bow ties.
Ooh, so, I don't think he's going to be ready for that. I saw the promotion for that, and I thought it was like an AI robot until I looked into it. No, that's that guy that you're interviewing.
Yeah.
So how interesting is that?
He was really interesting, and the show, okay, this isn't the fun part, but the show looks at what it means to be human, how baby gays relate and sort of come into the world. There are a lot of underlying themes presented in a very palatable way. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. So, I mean, I guess Gary should probably just have a desk for me to be able to write and report directly from Gray Box at this point.
Knowing Gary, he's not going to give you a desk. He'll probably give you a little cot at a corner and you'll have to help him set up. But at least you'll already be there. And speaking of, kudos to Gray Box for giving us such incredible programming. I mean, there's so much coming up. Make sure that you go follow Gray Box Theater in Wilton Manors to see what other program is coming up. But I mean, we've already told you about 2 that are just happening this week alone, and they're not stopping there at all. So thank you. That's going to be fantastic.
Yes.
Well, all of this sounds so fun. Thank you so much, Mr. John Hayden, for being back at the table here at Queer News Tonight.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. She is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspots, Happening Outs, the FayWhat Show. Faye, Wilton Women's Week kickoff with disco opening night on April 25th. Tell me, what's happening out?
Yes, WWW, baby. Yep, Wilton Women's Week launches in style with its opening night party on Saturday, April 25th at 6 p.m. at Hunter's Nightclub. Featuring House of Disco, the event invites guests to hit the dance floor in their best disco looks, okay? While DJ Music Cat, who I adore, spins classic hits. The first 100 attendees receive a free signature drink, adding extra sparkle and buzz to the night. Entry is just $20, okay? And it's a donation with proceeds supporting the Women with Pride program. It's open to all. This celebration promises music, community, and unforgettable vibes. Details and tickets at wiltonwomensweek.org. The beautiful Miss Lolly and Diane over there at Skirt Foundation, they don't sleep, okay? They literally spend every waking moment trying to figure out how to make this an even bigger success than it was last year, right?
Yeah.
Wilton Women's Week, their inaugural was last year, and what an incredible turnout. There were people from all over the country that came, to Wilton Manors. And, we've seen that for the boys, but I've never seen that for the girls. And I was excited to see these girls from out of town, in our places, I was excited to see those girls from out of town, all right? I was like, Teresa, stay home that day. I got to go to this. Anyway, Anyway, so to see them do it again, and and this time they have even more programming and more fun stuff to be had, from pool parties to comedy events and everything in between. Wilton Women's Week is going to be one for the books, and this is going to be the opening night at Hunter's Nightclub. And so DJ Music Cat is an incredible DJ. I adore her. I work with her in Miami on a couple of things, and it's all about the disco and the vibe. And when it comes to music from that time, like you're like, oh, I know this song. Oh, I know this song. Right? Like it ends up happening like that, and you end up having an incredible time, and that's what is going to happen on opening night for Wilton Women's Week.
Yeah, I can't wait. Okay, I'm not a woman, but spoiler alert. But no, you're right. They put together such fantastic programming, and like you said, we just came off Tropical Bear Week. We need to give Women with Pride all the same amount of love that we showed them, because these events are going to be just as fun, just as great, different vibe, which is cool, and so we don't repeat the same weeks over and over. I can't wait to go. I'll wear my oversized press badge and just kind of force my way in, and it'll be great.
No, and this is great that, because I have a lot of lesbian friends that say, well, they're not gay, lesbian events in South Florida for us. So this is your opportunity. I'm so glad to see this. I didn't know much about it, to be honest with you, but this is now, you're saying, the second year. I think it's great. And that Hunters is also hosting this is an amazing thing. But correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember seeing a lesbian party in Hunters, not that I know. So that they're hosting this big event is fantastic. I think is good for everybody. So I hope everybody comes and joins.
For sure. Get your tickets today, WiltonWomen'sWeek.org.
Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Wilton Women's Week Disco opening night on April 25th.
I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up entertainment. Aubrey Plaza is expecting her first child with Christopher Abbott after an emotional year. The announcement comes a year after the death of Plaza's husband, Jeff Baena, who died at age 47 on January 3rd, 2025. His death was ruled a suicide. Plaza and Baena had separated in September 2024 after more than a decade together. Following his passing, Plaza stepped back from public appearances, including withdrawing from the 2025 Golden Globes. She later returned during the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special, where she honored Baena by wearing a tie-dye shirt reminiscent of their wedding day. Plaza, who is bisexual, has since moved forward personally and professionally. Now dating Christopher Abbott, the couple is set to welcome their baby this autumn. A source told People that the couple feel very blessed. It was a beautiful surprise after such an emotional year. Abbott is best known for his role as Charlie Dettolo in Girls and has appeared in films including Poor Things and Craven the Hunter. Life really has its own kind of plot twist sometimes, and you can't get away from it, even if you are part of the story. I remember seeing this story when Aubrey's husband had unfortunately committed suicide, and my first thought was, oh my God, how do you come back from that? How do you go back to the public light? How are you able to do public appearances after losing somebody close to you? So this is good news. Again, that she's coming back in her own way after a year, and that she has another boo. You're bisexual. I was hoping hoping you'd get a girlfriend, but that's okay. That's, you're in your own pace. I foresee Aubrey having a girlfriend in the future.
She's an interesting actress. I mean, I like her, but she has like a kind of like a cold,
dry.
Very dry. I saw a film from her, I think around this time when he passed away, called Honey Don't, with Margaret Qualley, and it's just so typical of her. She's so like. Yeah, like it goes with this mood, very dry
and dark.
And dark.
You know what I mean? She's like an older Wednesday. That's kind of her act.
And sarcastic, and a little, impossible. So,
but that's sort of a typecasting that she fell into from her amazing role as April Ludgate Dwyer on Parks and Recreation.
Yeah.
In real life, she is very warm, very giving as an interview subject, which is of course all we really know her from.
Exactly.
So don't believe that what you see on TV is what she is in real life. And it may seem kind of fast, but life is fast. We get about 78 on average. We get about 78 trips around the sun. So you can't waste one or two or three. in mourning if you feel that you're ready to move on. And so she has, and so I'm happy for her.
Yeah, and she's having a baby. I mean, that's wonderful. You know, you get to bring a new life into this crazy world, right? And she and her new husband are gonna give it all kinds of love, and that's how it should be, right? Yeah.
I'm Dino Mosquera, and let's square up the USA view. MAGA commentator faces backlash for choosing Trump war crime threats over Trans Visibility Day. Right-wing Christian broadcaster Eric Erickson is facing backlash after saying he will prefer President Donald Trump threaten war crimes over recognizing transgender people on Easter. Erickson's comment came in response to Trump's expletive-filled Easter post where he pledged to bomb Iran's infrastructure, actions considered war crimes under international law, including the Geneva Convention. Reacting to the post, Erickson wrote, quote, "Look, I don't think it's appropriate. Wish he hadn't. But if I have to choose between this and Trans Recognition Day or whatever Easter, okay," end of quote. The debate stems from 2024 when Transgender Day of Visibility coincided with Easter during President Joe Biden terms. TDOV is observed annually on March 31st, while Easter's date varies each year. Erickson is a former contributor to CNN and Fox News and has a history of anti-LGBTQ commentary. This is the hypocrisy of it all. These are the conservative Christians on Easter that rather just see, the transgender people erase or, prefer actually we bomb a whole civilization, like he called it, Donald Trump, than celebrate, or just even recognize that transgender people exist and that transgender people, just have one day of being visible. What is that going to be against anyone, much less your Christian beliefs? I don't understand the hypocrisy of it all. These people, do you know that he actually lived in Dubai when he was a young student. He went to school in Dubai. So, and he's not outraged by, the bombing of an American ally, actually. Yeah. So, it's just so...
But how crazy is that for Trump to do that kind of a post, on Easter, right? Like a white girl wasted 2 a.m. kind of post, I was afraid yesterday, boys. You know what I mean? Like that 8 p.m. looming, I was worried. And, and things happened 2 hours before that deadline where they extended it or whatever it is, Yeah. But
Taco Tuesday.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? And I watched it play out because I try to just read a little bit. I can't immerse myself in the terribles day in, day out. But I was paying attention yesterday. And then around 3 or 4 o'clock, someone leaked that Pakistan was floating a 2-week ceasefire and all this. No, it was the White House. The White House looking desperately for an off-ramp that they needed in the next 4 to 5 hours. So they put that out there, and then they got Pakistan on board. That's what happened. Yeah. That's what happened. They blinked, and we are markedly in a worse position than we were before this war started. And there's all sorts of things that we'll get into. But as for Eric, he's an intellectual. He is smart. He communicates well, and he has no soul. He believes in, he knows trans people exist. He's not saying trans people don't exist because he spends so much of his time trying to erase them.
Yeah. He's just a disgusting piece of, what, all right? Because, you'd rather hear about a bombing a country than the acknowledgement that people exist. Like, that's not faith. That's a personality disorder. There's something severely wrong with that man. You can say that he's smart, but compassion the man does not have, not even a little piece of it.
Hey everyone, I'm John Hayden. Let's queer up politics. The fight to save HIV funding in Florida is long, hard, and not over yet. But for one night, our political crusaders at Equality Florida took a moment to celebrate accomplishments and prepare for what's next.
They are out to get us. Yep. And the story could be so much worse than it is tonight if it weren't for Equality Florida and if it weren't for Michael Reyna.
The warning is not hyperbole. But despite the ominous cloud, Equality Florida packed the Gray Box Theater for a celebration. The most challenging legislative session yet for LGBTQ+ was marked by quiet but important successes. Equality Florida helped defeat 4 of 5 anti-gay bills and watered down the onerous DEI restrictions that did pass.
We were completely blindsided. Information began to leak on January 7th that a letter dated January 8th was going out to clients, letting them know that they'd be terminated from the program effective March 1.
But it was cuts to ADAP, the AIDS Drug Assistance Program, that caught everyone off guard.
So when we speak about the ADAP crisis, please understand, this is not just policy on paper, this is real life.
I'm here reluctantly, but I'm here to...
On this night, everyone was there to honor Michael Rayner, the community leader who tries to fly below the radar.
I'm not going to lie, it's overwhelming. This issue's touched so many people's lives. So many people have lost people to HIV/AIDS over the last several decades. And so, when I was up there just hearing messages through social media of how important this issue was to them because of a family member or a loved one that they had lost, or someone that they know that's currently struggling and trying to figure their way how to access the medications come March 1. It's just all overwhelming.
He spent months in Tallahassee to get funding restored and found bipartisan support, with several Republicans even turning out to the evening honors.
No, we're going to be going back up. I'll be going to Tallahassee. They're probably going to do the budget conference at the same time that they do the special session on redistricting. And so we will find out then what's in store.
You know, Equality Florida mobilizes, gets people on buses, turns tens of thousands of people out during lobbying days. And so at one point, Republicans thought they could just wait them out. And so they scheduled hearings after the organized lobbyists and their supporters went home. But those guys rallied, and only 4 days later, after an exhausting first trip, they were back in Tallahassee. You can see my entire interview with Michael at Greater Wilton Manors on YouTube and Facebook. And you know what? It was great to have a night where we could celebrate the wins. And there's been more of those, and we do need those. And this was that.
Yes, yes.
So I was so thankful to be there and be a part of it.
Oh my God, and Michael's so loved. I mean, you know, with good reason, okay?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, just that story of him saying, okay, I got to fight Tallahassee, so how am I going to do this? I'm going to move there for a couple months, okay?
He took his dog with him.
Well, I mean, he had to.
Yeah.
He knew he was in for the fight, and you know, you can't be ready to fight without your dog next to you, you know? So, I mean, that's the kind of, that's a testament to the character that this man has and what he brings to our community. We're blessed to have him in whatever capacity, in whatever he's doing. And he's so shy about it, you know, where he's like, you know, it was like pulling teeth to get him to this event.
Yeah.
To recognize him, you know, and it was all the community leaders, the EDs of all the nonprofits that we know and love were there present because they felt that Michael had done something for them in you know, years ago or presently, you know, and that is the kind of guy he is. So thank you so much for covering that because that was incredible. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up the USA view. Man arrested after allegedly shooting outside LGBTQ+ club in Myrtle Beach. No injuries reported. A man has been arrested following a shooting outside an LGBTQ+ nightclub in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina on April 1st. According to reports from Wiz 10, no injuries were reported in the incident. Police say 37-year-old Timothy James Truitt allegedly opened fire outside Pulse Ultra Club, damaging a vehicle owned by the venue's operator. Authorities state the shooting shattered both the rear passenger window and the windshield. Law enforcement later stopped a vehicle matching surveillance footage from the scene. Truitt was reportedly behind the wheel, and officers say they recovered a firearm and shell casings. While a motive has not been confirmed, Truitt faces multiple charges, including hate intimidation. This marks the first use of Myrtle Beach's hate intimidation law since 2024. He remains in custody on a $312,000 bond. Another gun outside a queer space. You know, we're tired. We're so tired of this. And even when no one is hurt, the message is loud and clear. And the message is hate. That is what the message is. LGBTQ people should not have to scan the parking lot before they go dance. period, but I mean, this also is just another like high alert to tell everybody that, we need to go back to old school ways. Back in the day in the 90s when I was a young little lesbian, you went somewhere with somebody and you left with somebody, and you made sure that if you were leaving separately because maybe somebody found, a date for the night, you let me know when you got home in some way, shape or form, These are the times that we're in right now. Anything could happen. We don't know if that gentleman was an ex of somebody or if it was an intimidation hate crime aspect, but it's still scary.
So I think you're absolutely right. I did some more research on this story, and there's not a lot about this guy, but a $312,000 bail and the hate crime accelerator only is as like 30 days and a $500 fine. So if this guy's on $300,000 bond, there's got to be more to him or more to this than what they're reporting. I mean, some people can get out on homicide charges for a $50,000 bond.
Scary, yes.
So, but I think the biggest takeaway from this story is that this is the first test of the hate crime ordinance. This is unique to Myrtle Beach in the area, but South Carolina is a very deep red state. So will the charge hold until they go to trial? Will a jury convict? And will the state Supreme Court hold it up? So this is a story not necessarily for the violence, which unfortunately is becoming very de rigueur and common, is to see how courts allow this to play out in this particular venue.
Yeah, because when people get arrested, they throw a bunch of charges on you, just to be able to hold you a certain amount of time and to also have that bond be that high that you can't afford it, to get out. And then they start dropping the charges like nothing, Right. So we hope that one, the hate crime intimidation, is not one of the ones that's dropped.
Right.
But we would still need to know more of the story to be able to even know.
Yeah, apparently nobody at the club knew him. He wasn't an ex of anybody who worked there, and I guess several patrons talked. They were talked to the owners, and they were like, "We haven't seen this guy before." So it doesn't sound like he's connected to any one or the venue specifically.
And the venue's name, Pulse. I mean, it's kind
probably
of eerie.
Meant as a tribute, I would guess.
I don't know.
But of course, like when you say, even when the words came out of my mouth, I was like, wow, like it hurts. Yeah. Not that it feels, there's a discomfort to say Pulse when I say another nightclub's name, and I know that it was Pulse something, but still, it's still, like the similarities we don't want to have. How about that?
I'm Dino Mosquera, and let's queer up students and youth culture. Appeals court lets Iowa enforce Don't Say Gay law as legal challenges continue in schools. An appellate court has ruled that Iowa can enforce parts of a controversial education law restricting LGBTQ topics in schools while legal challenges continue. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the 8th Circuit lifted preliminary injunctions that had blocked provisions of a 2023 law signed by Republican Governor Kim Reynolds. The decision allows enforcement of measures limiting queer-themed books and classroom discussions. The law had been challenged by Iowa Safe Schools, supported by Lambda Legal and the American Civil Liberties Union. A lower court had paused enforcement, but appellate judges said the state can proceed as litigation continues. In its opinion, the court said lower courts had, quote, engaged in flaw analysis, end quote, and interpreted law too broadly. It also ruled that removing certain books from libraries does not violate the First Amendment. The law restricts instructions on gender identity and sexual orientation and requires staff to notify parents if a student is transgender. Nathan Maxwell, senior attorney at Lambda Legal, said, quote, this ruling is a setback, but it's not the end of this fight. We will continue to use every legal tool available to protect these young people. They deserve nothing less. This is another case where Florida has been the inspiration for these disastrous laws, that spread around the country. The good things don't seem to spread. It's always the bad things, and that, we are now seeing it, going to conservative states like Iowa is shameful, with a country going through a war. And, we're going through so rough times that we this is what we put our effort and emphasis on. Is shameful.
It's shameful. And those poor kids, those are the kids that I honestly pray for so often. You can ban the words, but you can't ban the kids. Laws like this don't protect anyone. They isolate, they erase, and they out students, whether they're ready or not. And that puts a target on kids' back. That's not safe. If your policy needs to be silent to survive, it probably shouldn't exist.
Well, but that's the point, is to put a target on kids' backs so they'll shut up. Now, not the mainstream podcast, but you don't have to get too fringe before you see things like, we need schoolyard bullying as enforcement. We need their peers to kick the shit out of them as they go along. Now, a couple weeks ago, we sat here and we talked about a ruling that says, the court said you can't ban conversion therapy because that's banning free speech. Hopefully someone will bring a case of an out gay student who says, I want to learn about this history. You can't bar these types of things. I'm not a legal expert, but it's going to take something like that, and we will have a definitive ruling for where we are now.
Well, and the worst part about what you just said is that, John, something would have to actually happen to that kid for them to have a case like this. A threatening or something like that wouldn't be enough to bring on a case. Someone has to get hurt, killed, or threatened. A kid has to go through a bad freaking time, and it's hard enough being a kid.
Yeah.
These are the people that, just are, going for, freedom of speech and defending that, are the same people that just basically told us that we can't talk bad about Charlie Kirk because, God bless him. And it's just outrageous that these people are defending freedom of speech at the same time. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but he can say horrible things about Rob Reiner and about anybody else who passes away.
Yeah.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up gay culture. Hotspots magazine highlights Gay Polo League as it serves sport with pride. Our Hotspots Happening Out LGBTQ plus lifestyle magazine, Hotspots, is back with a feature on the Gay Polo League's International Gay Polo Tournament, returning to Wellington April 23rd through the 25th. Now in its 16th year, the global event blends sport, style, and philanthropy, supporting Equality Florida. Founder Chip McKenney says, quote, celebrating 16 years of GPL's flagship event in Wellington propels us to create and produce the best experience by far, to bring people together to enjoy the best of us, end quote. With world-class matches and vibrant events, it's a celebration of community and pride. This feature story and many more are included in your free copy of the upcoming issue of Hotspots magazine on stands this Thursday, April 9th. Me and John have been covering the Gay Polo League for a couple of years now, and now we finally get to go and enjoy this, and I'm so looking forward to this. Okay, I know, I get it. I know I'm a lesbian, but I'm also a gay boy, okay? So for gay boys, those outfits fit so nice and tight, and they just look so perfect around certain areas, okay? I will say that, these boys look amazing in their outfits, and, it's all about, the horses are great, and the events are great, and I'm actually going to have Chip McKenney on the FayWhat show next week to talk about how this little dream of his became such an incredible go-to event, and it's in Wellington. That right there just screams money and screams foo-foo and screams eleganza, oh my God, I'm gonna just live my pretty woman fantasy, right? And step on divots and do what I gotta do. I'm so excited for this. You have no idea.
I do love a good divot. And, now you've got guys with big mallets who know how to ride.
Yes.
I'm there.
Yeah.
You know who Nacho Figueras is? The Argentinian polo player.
Oh, yes.
If he's there, I want to go. That's all I have to say. He's a beautiful man, straight, but nobody's perfect. But he's just, he's probably the most well-known polo player I know, and he's Latino and gorgeous, and I hope he's there.
I hope he's there too, and what a wonderful thing to have a gay Gay Polo League. Like, that's just wonderful for our community to have, right? I can't wait.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up entertainment. Little Nas X battery charges could be dropped after mental health program completion. The artist was arrested on August 21st last year after Los Angeles police responded to reports of a man walking in underwear on Aventura Boulevard. He faced 3 felony counts on battery with injury to a police officer and 1 count of resisting arrest, carrying up to 5 years in prison. He pleaded not guilty. At a hearing, Judge Alan Schneider approved his entry into a mental health diversion program. Charges will be dropped if he completes it and stays law-abiding for 2 years. Diagnosed with bipolar disorder, Little Nas X spoke to Rolling Stones after the hearing. He said, quote, "I'm thankful, just very thankful. It could have been much worse," end of quote. I pray that he's, finding treatment and he gets well. It's not an easy, a lot of people go through this, bipolar disorder, and he's very talented, and I hope he doesn't throw his career away and he finds the help he needs, unlike some other people like Kanye West, for example, another one, which is, continues, recurring on the same mistake over and over again. But Little Nas X he's young, he's making some mistakes, but, he seems to be finding the way out. So I hope it works for him.
They made an example of him because he's Little Nas X. That's the bottom line, all right? Because somebody calling the cop and saying there's a guy in their underwear in Ventura Boulevard, that happens every day, all right? It's just that it's Little Nas X with underwear walking on Ventura, okay? There's the difference, right? So anybody else, if the person would have been white, all of this would have been dropped already. Yes, I said it, okay? I'm so sorry, but it's the truth. And then on the other side of it, I hope that he was correctly diagnosed, and if he does have bipolar, that is what he has, that he's not just saying, I have bipolar and now I need to go and do this, because it's also not a cop-out. It's also, people really do live with bipolar, have to adjust their whole life to be able to do everything like everybody else. And I just, would hate that it's just being used as a way out.
And like you said, I think not only race plays into this, I think his celebrity factor too. Harvey at TMZ has a ton of people on his payroll. And if you were ever a background actor in a YouTube video that got more than 10,000 likes, they're going to know if you get caught doing something. What I am happy about is that to a certain extent, he's being treated like everyone else. He's being put into a diversion program. He's getting the mental health, apparently, that we hope he needs. And if he doesn't pick up a new case for 2 years, this will all be behind him. So, I hate that this is playing out in the media. No one should have their mental health issues played out in the media. But, I think it sounds like he's taking an opportunity to be there for other people in his own way and say, look, everybody can go off the rails. There is a way out. It's not as dark as it appeared to be.
It could be a learning tool for many folks.
Exactly.
If done the right way.
Yeah.
Yes.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up politics. Out Trump envoy eyes Russia ambassador role amid escalating anti-LGBTQ plus crackdown under Vladimir Putin. Richard Grenell, President Trump's special envoy for special missions, is reportedly interested in becoming U.S. ambassador to Russia. Sources say Grenell has floated the idea internally, though there is no sign of formal White House consideration. The Moscow Post is vacant, and Grenell's interest in the job comes against the backdrop of the Putin administration's long-standing anti-LGBTQ plus laws. Grenell, who is gay, previously served under Trump's first term as ambassador to Germany and as acting director of national intelligence. He recently stepped down from his role as the head of the Kennedy Center. Fortunately, the Kennedy Center was already run in, or our relationship with Russia has already run into the ground. So he doesn't need to do work nearly as hard as he did to run Kennedy Center into the ground. You know, Rick Grinnell is one of those log cabin faggots that thinks that they can just cozy up and everything is going to be fine. The fact is, it's not. I say, send him to Russia. Let him stay in Russia. You know, possibly at the U.S. Embassy. Perhaps in one of their notorious prisons. I don't really give a damn.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it either. I mean, we've done quite a few stories about this guy, and the fact that, I mean, it's like, you're gay, and this is what, special intelligence? Like, I'm blown away by the fact that he would even be considered. I mean, wow.
This is the guy that Trump sent to Venezuela to negotiate a deal with Maduro. Okay.
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
It did. The beauty of this guy. I mean, this is musical chairs. He's keep moving around, you know, to different special missions. I mean, come on. The gay Russians, please turn on your grinders. Richard Grinnell will be there soon. You'll find him, okay? And let us know about it. So,
Close us out, John.
You know what? I think I will.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up drag culture, baby. Juicy Love Dion teases Lollapalooza as Drag Race Season 18 heats up on MTV. The race isn't over for Juicy Love Dion. The Season 18 standout of RuPaul's Drag Race made it to the top 4 before a shocking elimination just ahead of the finale. Now, Dion returns for the high-stakes Lollapalooza lip-sync smackdown for your mama, where eliminated queens will battle for a $50,000 prize. Dion tells Out magazine, quote, "Get ready to gag. It's not the usual Lollapalooza. It's giving final boss. This is the final battle," end quote. RuPaul's Drag Race airs Friday nights on MTV. You know, I've loved Drag Race for all the years that it's been out, right? But I mean, it became more personal when our girls were really in it. You know, when Mia Starr was in it, with Athena Dion was in it, you know, and Juicy's in it, you know, and Susie too, you know, I mean, it's just like, you know, Dita, like these girls that are South Florida women that we have seen them, you know, Latrice, like Latrice paved the way, okay?
She did.
You know, Juicy wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Latrice Royale, okay? Sure. I said it there, I said it, okay? Somebody get Christopher Hamblin on the phone, all right? That is the truth, you know? Now, here we are in 2026, and it's like, you know, we're glued to the TV again, right? You know, the challenges are amazing, the lighting is amazing, the dresses are incredible. Like, every girl brought everything out this season, you know, but Juicy's been a standout, and we've been able to watch her every week kicking ass and serving looks and taking names. I mean, her dancing is incredible. Her lip sync is always on point. Kenya.
Ooh.
She deserves how far she's gotten, and this Lollapalooza, she is a strong contender to win that.
Yeah, definitely.
To win that.
No, definitely. This season had put, I mean, I know Miami drag has always been good, but this season really put Miami on the map. I mean,
they were scared for Miami Queens. They were scared.
I mean, seriously. And, you know, Athena and Mia Starr, and, you know, we have a long tradition there with Morphine Love Dion and Miyaki. I mean, the Latrice Royale. But this season has brought it, you know, the level really up. And Juicy Love Dion is the season lip sync assassin. So I'm sure she's going to do very well this Friday. So I can't wait. I hope
You know, I just want to give a shout out. We used to have an anchor on this show. I think he was like RuPaul's personal assistant.
Did he
at
die?
one point. No, he wore big orange glasses. I can't remember his name. He was RuPaul. I think he was RuPaul's assistant. But anyway, I don't even know what happened to the guy, but boy, I sure do miss him.
Wow. Well, he's number 1 on your speed dial, so you might as well do that.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up entertainment. Adventure Time Pride special brings back Princess Bubblegum and Marceline this June. Oni Press has announced Adventure Time Pride Special PB and Marcy's Infinite Mixtape #1, written by Rosie Knight and illustrated by Yevgenia Verel. The release marks the franchise's first ever Pride special and will debut June 3rd, 2026. The story centers on a fan favorite couple through a creative in-character concept. The official statement reads, quote, Marceline, the vampire queen, and her girlfriend, Princess Bubblegum, have created a brand new, never-before-heard mixtape commemorating their anniversary. But what happened when a rewind through memory lane makes them realize that they've been looking at things through rose-colored glasses? Are they really that out of tune, or is someone else playing them like a fiddle? I have to admit, I don't know much about this cartoon, but I'm so happy to see that, you know, because let's face it, there is a lot of people in the community that are very fan of, you know, cartoon animation. Anime. And that there is. This is growing and is getting the visibility that we never saw before. There was always some kind of like, you know, shame or some kind of looking down upon people that were into anime and you know, cartoon. And this is great that, you know, gay stories are also represented in cartoons. So I think it's great.
You know, okay, I'm going to do a hot take here. And I know you're probably going to disagree with me. I am Team Princess Bubblegum 100%. Okay, I know you're a Marcy fan, but she plays misunderstood. But she knows more about what's going on than people give her credit
Honey,
for.
she's the vampire, so of course she knows more. Okay, but she still needs to keep a secret and away from your bubblegumness. I'm watching this. This is super cute. I don't care. Okay. As a nonprofit LGBTQ media organization, we would like to thank our viewers for supporting our mission to tell the stories of the queer community. We'd also like to thank the generous support of Jets Pizza. Jets is the LGBTQ community's most popular pizza in South Florida.
Take a look around these streets. Do you really think we woke up one day and said, yeah, the world needs more pizza? Nah, just a better one. Better, like the world's best pizza, Jet's Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. You're welcome. Now visit jetspizza.com and save. Click on Hot Deals for special offers in your area. Jets, better because it has to be.
These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight, and our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform. Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ plus stories. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and of course, Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, FayWhat, and I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ anchors here at Queer News Tonight, including Dino Mosquera and John Hayden. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. to our LGBTQ plus world. We wish you a good night.
Good night, everyone.